How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Halo 2 pistol only challenge, where we are trying to make it all the way through Halo 2 only using the pistol. Now we're here on Uprising, and again I'll just kind of run through the rules I've set up for myself here. Can only use the pistol throughout this entire mission. Melee is included, no grenades can be utilized, vehicles are alright as long as I'm not the one doing the shooting, and I can't kill teammates for extra ammo. And so right off the bat here, we're going to go ahead and melee these brutes. There were a couple of sections you'll see coming up here that I struggled with quite a bit. This opening section actually didn't give me too much trouble. There were a lot of times where I was worried or concerned that I might mistime my melee here, but for the most part, it was all right. So there are a lot of opportunities here for me to basically recharge my shields, bait these guys into this back alleyway, and just knock them around, and then we get up into the open section here. Now there are a couple of brutes on the ridge which saw me at this point. That's what alerted these brutes down lower. Got into kind of a hairy situation right here, so I reactivated my camo, reassessed, and then we were back at it. Now, I did encounter this again so many times where my mistimed melees were the death of me. Now, a lot of it was just a lot of lunging and then swiping at the air, lots of misses like we've seen in some of the previous playthroughs. But once I was able to melee these brutes, I had my ally come out with his energy sword, and he took care of this guy. So now we were moving on to probably one of the harder parts here. These multi-leveled kind of glass staircases were pretty tough. This section I struggled with quite a bit because I could not, for whatever reason, get that follow-up back smack on the brutes that were aggroed. So a few times here you'll see that time and time again I just get slapped around. And then I tried to go on the offensive with the plasma pistol, which did not work out for me. I was able to use my ally, and in hindsight, I should have definitely waited for the zealots and some of my other allies to drop in, because it just made this section that much harder. I did not wait for really any of my allies, just kept going further and further up, and that ended up leading to a couple of probably unnecessary deaths and some extra time here. Honestly, could have saved quite a bit of time in these sections had I been patient, but that has just not been my style throughout this. So I get kicked around a little bit more. And then there was one run through here where I was able to make it into the upper section, but just got absolutely destroyed by the brute shots. That ended up being the bane of my existence here for a little bit. And so you'll see that from long range, I was just trying to use the plasma pistol, but that brute shot just tracked me, basically. So try to be a little bit more patient. This time around, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to use my active camo. I'm going to skip it all, see how far I can get without meleeing anybody, just see if I can sneak past. Did not really work. Continue to get absolutely mauled by the brute shot here, which led to me going all the way back again and again until finally I was patient enough to wait for my ally, got a 2-for-1 there, and then we were back up to the upper section. Got lucky grenade sticks, the whole 9 yards. And as we continued up, we just basically had to take care of the buggers from range. And then we were also dealing with some of the brutes waiting in the back there. We got another lucky grenade toss. At this point, I thought I would try to camo myself and punch the brute, but I didn't see that extra drone. So I was just trying to jump around, avoid getting slapped around by the brute, and my ally took care of him again. This section here, I was tempted to camouflage and just skip through it, but I thought, you know what, if I can get my ally to come with me, it might be helpful. we were on to the next section. Using these, I don't know what you want to call them, basically these explosive pillars was helpful because I could take care of some of the jackals there. Again, some fantastic grenade tosses by my ally. And then down below, there's about 4 to 8 brutes that will ultimately come into this room, 4 in the upper section here, 4 on the lower section. So I was just trying to kind of plan it out, but it did not work to my advantage. I just got too aggressive, so I tried again. This time went a lot better. Had a lot of them who didn't even realize I was there. And then I was actually able to get the back smack on that aggroed brute there. In this section, I thought it'd be easiest to jump onto that crossbeam and then drop down below. But then I realized, you know what, I can continue to go past these guys and move on to this section here. I was going to use the grunt as a distraction, which ended up working here. Again, I just used an active camo technique, jumped around them. There were a couple of brutes right here who did not see me, even though I came out of my active camo. So we were moving back to the outdoor section. Here, I thought it would be advantageous to give my ally a carbine to lead him into this next section. That ultimately did not work out, and you'll see why here in just a second. When he went into the outdoor section with the carbine, he was useless. Like, didn't even fire a single shot. And over time, I figured out it was better for him to actually have the energy sword. Missed the back smack there, and then we were just trying to basically do cleanup. Again, I got really aggressive here. Should have just probably stayed back, but ultimately didn't want to. Got aggressive again, got smashed into oblivion. And then this was the successful run of this outdoor section. Now, what was really weird is I actually had to go down the hill to kill a couple of the brutes. Only the brute in the ghost showed up. I don't know why. Usually there's, 4 or 5 brutes and that jackal sniper that show up, but we dealt with the sniper and 1 brute and no one else showed up. So we were moving on to the ghost run, and I was just basically flooring it the whole way. I figured let's just go ahead, maybe kill a grunt ally there, and then continue on. But throughout this whole section, it was pretty easy going. Now, I did die right up here. You'll see why in just a second. It actually had nothing to do with any of the brutes or any of the vehicles. My ghost flipped a few times and just got completely ruined right here. So I had to walk all the way to get my next ghost. I had no idea that on this hill, if you boosted fast enough, it thinks you're falling and you just die. I was so mad. So I went a little bit slower the second time around. I had to go all the way back to my last checkpoint. Went a little bit slower the second time around and made it through the Valley of Death here. Again, just kind of boosting through. I cannot shoot the ghost. Use the ghost to shoot the enemies, so had to just move past. Now here, after I got shot by the sniper there, I probably should have just waited, but again, got aggressive. So second time around, I figure I'll take one of them with me, and let's just boost through this section here. Something else that I didn't know about Halo 2 is that you don't actually have to get out of the ghost to open these doors. You can just run right through it, which was very advantageous for me. So we continued on through, made it past the upper section, ran over a couple of the snipers, and the ghosts didn't give me too much trouble. I was able to just then boost to the end. So that will do it for Uprising. Pretty quick, pretty easy, which will lead us into High Charity on the next one. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see something different, a new challenge, and I'll see you all in the next one.